G'day, welcome back to the 40 channel. So, a lot of questions and a lot of comments about selling the 40 series Landcruiser. A lot of people very surprised, very disappointed that it went, including you, Jack.
Yes, very.
And Mum was disappointed or sad to see it go. I was sad to see it go too, but there was a reason why we did it, and that was all to get to this new project. Here it is.
So yeah, Dad bought this new car.
Happy husband.
Your wife's not happy that you bought this.
It's Shelley's idea to buy it.
Shelley's idea to buy it. LX, I don't know, LX model thingy.
What is it, Joe?
LX, luxury.
What's it any different to your other one?
It's got an LX. It's just got a sticker that says LX on it. I'd probably put it on the shorty and call it an LX.
LX on it.
Yeah. Oop.
Jace, you want to tell them what you're doing? Selling.
We're going to sell the FJ40 so we can fund this build.
Selling the FJ40.
That's once that starts rolling, jump out of the way.
Oh.
Have you got a brake?
No.
Brake doesn't work, Mum.
If it's going, it's going. I'm not stopping it.
It's alright, I'll lay down under it. Oh shit.
The things we do.
What is it, Jack?
Yes.
What's so special about this project?
This Toyota Landcruiser is an LX.
An LX. So what makes this a little bit different to other vehicles, mate?
So this LX is more of the luxurious model version of Toyota Landcruisers. They have more plastic, they have the zebra lining seats. It's just an all-in-all, more comfortable, more enjoyable ride.
Well,
More comfortable.
for 1983.
Yeah.
So comes standard with disc brakes, comes standard with power steering. It has 3 window wipers on the front there, which is pretty cool. And as Jack said, the interior for 1983, if you were into Mission Brown, it's pretty cool actually. Unfortunately, we are missing the rear seats. So we're hunting down the rear seats. If anyone knows about rear seats, let us know. We're on the hunt for some. So this is a lead into this episode. So in this episode, what are we talking about, Jack?
We're going to be talking about what to look for when buying a Toyota Landcruiser.
And particularly a 40 series Landcruiser. So if you're out there and you've always wanted to buy one, or you're out there looking for another one and you want to know what to look for, key areas in rust, little bits and pieces that might need to be addressed, then we're going to try to show all those different things in this episode. And yeah, we knew exactly what we had to look for in this one. There's a lot of work in this, isn't there?
There is quite a bit of work.
There is. But anyway, I'm still really excited. It's going to look spectacular when it's done. Let's get into the episode. And yeah, if you're in the market for a 40, hopefully this one helps you out. So today, something a little bit different in what we're going to talk about. We're actually going to talk about what to look for when you're buying a 40 series Landcruiser. I've been asked this question a stack of times through emails and comments, so I thought I may as well do a quick video on some of the key things to look for. Let's start with the body and all those rust-prone areas that you're going to find. Right, so let's just look at 40 series Landcruisers in general and the main areas that you're going to look for rust. Number one, front bib. Let's start right at the front. The bottom of the front bib is prone to rust because it just gets in between the 2 seals. The water sits there and over time rusts away. There's been some really dodgy fixes, so make sure you look out for that. Give it a little tap with your knuckle and you'll soon know whether there's been rust in there, or feel over it and you'll know whether it's been repaired with some crazy dodgy, just a bit of angle line or something crazy like that. But number one, look at that. Second one that you're always going to see is your fenders. Now, not so much rust, but there's always been knocked around and damaged just because of the location they are. They stick out. They're always going to get knocked and dinged. and that's the next part that you're going to find dodgy repairs, all that type of stuff. So check all your fenders. Right, your front bonnet, another key area that rusts out. Check all over the front part of it there, right in that front lip. Again, water and mud sits in there. If it doesn't get cleaned out over time, it all rusts out on that front piece there, and you see a lot of front bonnets that have been rusted out right on the front. A big key one is the floors. The floors all rust out, mainly because, especially if they had vinyl with them, if you're lucky enough to have vinyl, or some people put mats or carpet, again, the water sits in there, it comes up from the bottoms, mud sticks to the bottom, water will sit inside the cab, sit there, and it just slowly rusts away. And I've seen, or I have some that have basically no floor. If you put your foot through it, you'll have a Flintstone 40 Series Land Cruiser, and you'll be running along without any engine power at all. What a great idea. Righto, your roofs, they're another one that rust out, especially the steel gutters. So again, with your 40 series and your 45 series, they all have steel gutters, and it's very common for your steel gutters to rust out. Go around and check all that. So you can see this one here, it has no gutter left on it at all. The whole thing's rusted out. On this side, it's totally gone, and the front's also pretty much disappearing. That roof, it's probably only good for cutting out and using any rust or holes that have been cut into other roofs and repairing that. Keeping on the 45 series Land Cruisers, right here is another key rust area for a whole stack of nearly every one I've ever seen. Again, it sits in this area here. You've got like this double lip piece in the inside, and it rusts all out. And before you know it, you've got big holes right here, and if it gets left too long, there's so much damage and a lot of work to repair it. Here and up the top, it sounds like I'm just sharing that these are rust buckets. It's not true. You're just going to know what to look for when you're looking at a 40 series Land Cruiser, and what can be hidden by previous owners. Another one is your doors. Whether it's the early model or the old model doors, again, right along the bottom of the seal is quite common to be all rusted out. If the drain plugs are all blocked up and clogged up, and your weather seals are worn out, the water comes straight down, sits at the bottom of the door, and slowly eats from the inside out. And before you know it, it's too late. It's rusted right through the bottom of the door, and the door is gone. The early 70 series models had a vent right on the front cowl here, just underneath the window. Now that also again would get clogged up. That would all fill up with mud, leaves, dirt, fill up with water, and again would rust from the inside out. So it's quite important to look up underneath the dash and down inside that. Right, another key area to look for, and this is very important because your car really relies on it, your fuel tank. Underneath the fuel tank, again, gets water trapped between the floors, so your floor's going to rust out, and then it rusts out the bottom of the fuel tank. But check out this repair on this fuel tank. They've actually used a 2-cent piece, a copper 2-cent piece, and they've brazed it into the bottom of the fuel tank to cover the hole up. Any repair you'd on a fuel tank, extremely dangerous. I would highly not recommend it unless you know exactly what you're doing and you know that tank is completely purged. But please do not do any type of repair on a fuel tank that involves any type of welding or heat. If the fuel tank you think is empty, there's a whole lot of fumes and gases in there, and you've just created an incredible explosion which can do some serious injury or death. So please don't do it. You're better off either taking it to an expert, getting rid of it altogether, and just getting a whole new fuel tank. But this one's had a little bit of a fuel tank bog repair, which you can buy. There's quite a number of them on the market that will get you out of trouble. But the 2-cent coin brazed onto the bottom of it, that's a pretty cool idea. I wouldn't recommend it. Now, as far as dodgy repairs, there's a whole stack of dodgy repairs out there that you really need to look for. Number one, I don't know why you would do this, but welding panels together. I found a stack of them. This one in particular has nearly every single panel welded together where there was a join, which means that this vehicle, without getting to it with a grinder, is almost impossible to strip down and repair easily. Now, another really dodgy repair that I've seen on my 40 series Land Cruiser when I stripped it down was the old sheet metal, pot rivets and bog. Come on, really? So what they've done is they've found a big giant rust hole, and instead of cutting it out and welding on a new panel, which really isn't that hard, I've had a couple of my kids set them up, get them going, and once you get it set up, it's pretty good and really efficient. But instead, all they do is they just spray it over, cut it out of sheet metal, pot rivet it on, fill it all up with bog, sand it back, so to an unknowing buyer, it looks really neat and clean because it feels and looks good. And you can even stick a magnet to it. It's very deceiving. And if you're one of the guys out that do it to your own car, happy days. But if you're going to sell that vehicle, please be honest about it, because it's rubbish. Because what happens is you've got two sheets of metal there, rust can get in between those two, and you actually make the rust even worse than what it is later for the next owner. So please be honest about that if you've done it. If you've done it just for a quick farm fix and you're out four-wheel driving and bush hunting or whatever it is, go for your life. It's your vehicle, do whatever you want with. Another key area to look for is your little noses that hold down your bonnet clips. Again, these can just rust out only because they get worn away and they get damaged around this area here. Fairly easy fix. Righto, so under your door seals, just along here is another really common rust out spot. So these ones are pretty solid, which is good, but some of the others, they rust out just along here. Give it a really good tap, knock around, look for any hollowness or rust sounding noises, and check them out as well. On your 40 and your 45 Troopies, the rear end is another key area that you really need to look for that might need a bit of love. Let's go check out its rear end. Righto, your rear quarter panel, just like this one here, is extremely common to rust out. I've had to replace all of them on every single one I've owned. So again, you can actually buy these panels, you can make up a new piece if you're clever enough, cut all this out, re-weld in a new piece, and you're done. But check this out, because this one was full of bog and it's rusted out, and I can actually pull that bog out. So check both sides of that. On any shorty or troopy, that's going to be it. Now your doors, again, another big issue, right along the bottom, similar to your front doors, the drain holes blog up, they fill up with dirt and all sorts of crud and rust out. So same as this one, same deal, we've got to put bog here on it, and they've tried to patch it up, and now the bog is starting to flake out. So check out your rear doors. Righto, now we're at the rear end. The other thing we want to check for is this back seal just along here. Again, it's pretty prone to rusting out. You've got these little drain plugs, same deal. Everything that I found on these 40s, the main problem is that it gets dirt, leaves, all that type of stuff in these little drain holes or in these spots, and the water sits in there and just can't get away. Same with you've got carpet or mats, the water gets underneath it, sits there, and it's been sitting there for so long it just rusts away. So they're the key areas to look for. Check this out again. This one needs a bit of love in this corner over here, but overall this one's pretty good. Righto, that's it. So hopefully I haven't turned you off buying a 40 Series Landcruiser. Hopefully I've done the opposite. Now you know exactly what to look for with confidence. And as you've seen in their channel, there's a stack of DIY videos, whole lot of stuff on how to fix things, what to look for. Check it all out. So when you go buy your 40, or if you already got one, know what to look for, especially those little dodgy repairs, and how to fix them up and repair them. Right, so don't be hesitant. If you find all these rusty areas or you find damage, don't be too concerned, because you can pretty much get any panel you need. There's a stack of wreckers out there that supply all different parts from original that are pretty good condition. You can buy new parts from China. I haven't used any, I don't know the quality, I don't know much about them at all. There's some really talented guys out there like Homs Panels and Rob Sawyer that make stuff like this that you can buy off them, and they are absolute mint. So there's stacks of options to repair these and get them back up fully restored and absolutely looking like showroom finish, which hopefully, and bring this one back up to its former LX glory. We'll see how we go, so stay tuned. Righto guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully I've helped you guys out. Appreciate your support. Feel free to subscribe to keep up with what's going on, and until next time, take care of yourselves.